Hi, Farhad.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Sunetro.
Hi.
How you doing, man?
All okay? We are.
Lately, I have a habit of usually saying man a lot. I used to have a habit of saying bro,
Hmm.
and now it's reached a point where I realize that a lot of times I find myself not being able to say it so easily online. Like, hey, man, because of the
Yeah,
risk
like you don't
of
know how
like
someone would
someone
be
identifies
identified.
anyone. So,
I know what you mean because a couple of days back, I just actually 2 days back, someone messaged me about the last episode and said, I found the hygiene episode very relatable,
hmm,
and so I was about to type thanks man, and then I backtracked and I said thanks mate because I don't know, and that's I guess that's the least we can do. That's
yeah,
the
so
least
I get
we can.
awkward, so I end up typing thanks and then I type yeah. Like instead of yar, I just type like Y with 20 A's after it.
That's
Because
like
even
all.
yar would be
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
No, yar can be a.
Yeah, but it's like, people in emails going, hey guys. And even though there are so many women on that email, I always see like, it's such a, at work people say, hey guys. Like even though there are women, and then
Yeah.
okay, that I understand, but lately I've just constantly found myself finding it tough to say, hey man,
Yeah, I know
bro,
what
so
you
I
mean.
stopped fully. Hi.
Well, yes. How are you
Until-
doing in the middle of the second lockdown? How bad is the lockdown over there? I mean, is it
it's really bad. It's really bad.
like
uh
it's like Khandar Bhumi? Because it's
Yeah, like right now it's pin rock silence outside my house, even though it's just
yeah.
8:20. At 6 every day we have like a giant police sign that goes around making an announcement that all shops need to be shut right away.
Hmm.
People clear out the streets, things like that.
Hmm.
So having lived that last year, it was a novelty, but now it's like
It's not. It really
it's
isn't.
it's not it's like it's not a novelty, but it's just for me to live it in a different city and kind of experience it fresh. It's a little annoying because now again I have to like for example, kal I ran out of nariyal, okay, and I wanted to make a coconut curry,
Hmm.
and I found out that my nariyal was in the freezer for too long, so I needed fresh nariyal, whatever. But long story short, I was like, oh shit, I won't get nariyal now. Or my fuse blew away day before yesterday at 10 in the night, and suddenly I'm like, oh shit, I'm not going to get an electrician right now. So
Yeah.
now it's like last year it would have been like, wow, what is this experience? Everything shut
No, it
down.
was never. It was never wow from any angle.
As
Just
in,
saying.
uh, yeah, yeah. I found
No.
it fascinating. I found it fascinating, even if things are troublesome. But yeah. What have you? Let's get into it. Yeah, we have like our first section, which is the small talk section, where we
Yeah.
just what's happening in
TikTok.
the
No,
news.
no, no. Our first section is TikTok.
I always get confused.
Yeah. But yeah. So TikTok, where we talk about something that's in the news, and why don't we get into it? Yeah. Why don't you
I
talk
did have
about
something
what's
I
in the
want to
news?
discuss. Yeah, sorry, just my hair's very random today. Hi. Yeah, I love this whole Lil Nas debate that is going on online. First of
First and
all,
foremost, what's the debate? It's a video. I mean, uh, but that's the
yeah, but
thing.
it's
I,
it's it's a little. I can understand why it's so tough to. Again, I'm not empathizing with them, but if religious groups are riled up because of it, because oh my God, he's giving Satan a lap dance, and suddenly, especially in the states where they are just off the heels of a very Republican, Christian forward, like kind of, they're still on the heels of that. So this video has managed to shake that up again, like that conversation. And
yeah.
I love it. I love it because I followed Lil Nas right from the start. I find him fucking cute. I have mad respect for him because again, every time I see a black artist, yeah, it's just especially in the hip hop rap, even though his music is not very hip hop rap, but like for them to be out and open now and be able to create music, that is such a big thing. It's such a
Yeah.
big deal because
Yeah.
I cannot imagine this in the 90s. I don't remember any openly gay
Of course
black
not.
artists in the
Of course
80s or
not.
90s.
Yeah.
even though we all knew like some of them, but like it was like career suicide back
Of
then. Like
course,
how can
yeah,
you be like black and gay? So for Lil Nas to come and go full on, like not only with this particular video, but if you like follow him online, his kind of posts, his the way he finds ways to constantly keep saying he's gay. I just love it. I love it.
yeah.
Uh,
No, and I love his clapbacks. I love the fact that he's turned this into an industry. Like he's really like cashing in on this where uh I think it's he's enjoying himself where he
oh,
really spends
absolutely.
time looking for people who are really getting like
Trolling him.
yeah,
Yeah,
who are trying to troll him, and he
yeah.
trolls them back, and how. So
And yeah,
I'm loving the whole thing because honestly, come on, like please, just can people just fucking grow up? I didn't hear this kind of uproar, and what's pissing me off is the conversation is around, oh my god, what are our kids seeing? First and foremost, why are you letting your kids see
yeah,
this? Secondly, when your kids see Cardi B, then that's not an
yeah.
issue. But yeah, yahan pe there's an issue. So fuck you. This is not
This
about
what will our
uh,
kids think the debate has
oh my
been like
god, like
the
seriously.
stupidest thing anyone has ever
Yeah.
come up with.
Fuck that.
Because I don't know, I just find it so stupid. In fact, Louis C.K. has a whole bit about this. What will your kids think? And then his whole point is that it's your headache what your kids think. You
Yeah,
know, it's
yeah,
not your child's problem. It's not the person putting out a certain type of art problem. It's how you communicate it to them or
yeah,
how you make them understand how the world functions or is. That's a so whatever your kids think, they think. You can't control that. And you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Like today, in an age where Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, all of that. What can I tell you something? I've eaten dog treats in the past. Yeah,
It's quite
yeah.
good.
Yeah, actually, some of
Quite
the
good.
cat food is tasteless. It actually is tasteless.
So
But
dog food is tasteless, but dog treats are quite. So basically,
yeah,
I'll tell you what I do sometimes, and this is TMI. But sometimes my dog is such a fucking diva. Sometimes I have to like put a little bit of water, so I just lick it and then give it to her. So she smells it, and
yeah,
then she will
yeah,
eat something. So I've
yeah,
tasted it, like so. Yeah,
yeah. You
but
know, when I had a serious, you know, those bones they make for dogs,
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I love that smell. It drives me insane. And again, I don't eat them or I don't
Uh,
lick them even. But the only thought I have when I'm around that bone is like I'm attracted to that bone. I don't know what it is about dog
uh,
bones, but yeah, I guess that
well,
was
TikTok for
yeah,
this episode. We'll be back in a bit, and we'll talk about our main topic for the day, which is something
sure.
exciting, something a lot lighter than what we usually talk about. So yeah, we'll be right back.
Let's do it.
All right. So for Big Talk, uh, last week, Farhad and I were just randomly chatting, and we started talking about this offhand news that came up that Marvel made an announcement. This was right after WandaVision. Now, spoiler alert: there's this bit where a spoiler alert again, where Wanda has two sons in WandaVision, and one of them happens to be this character called Wiccan. Wiccan is one of the most lauded and known gay characters in the Marvel universe, and so because again, spoiler alert, there's a little bit that happens in the end which kind of gives us uh, an inkling that maybe there's Wiccan on the way in the future. Um, to that, Marvel Studios sort of came back and said that there will be a lot more LGBT representation. Now, first and foremost, it's nice to hear that, but my first reaction to this is बहुत सुनाइए मतलब really, like I really need to see something before I can even begin to slightly applaud something, because I'll tell you what has pissed me off in the past. What has pissed me off is these token sort of offhand characters here and there. For example, I understood that it came from a good place, but Avengers Endgame, there being like a gay character who was played by the director, by the way, in the beginning in the therapy session with Captain America. Um, and then something like a Star Trek where, there's Sulu is kind of built out to be queer, but then it, their lives are um, so hollow. They're not fully fleshed out, and the queer life, the queer part of their life, is almost sort of invisible, and that's what pisses me off. So for me, I am not willing to accept any kind of representation until and unless there's fully fleshed out, realized, portrayals.
It's so funny you say that because I, when I see any, not just in the superhero universe, but in general, I don't like it when if a character is gay, their entire personality becomes that about their entire character becomes about them being gay. But it's such a thin line in this superhero universe because it's not being treaded as much. So that on one level, I feel like I want to see a gay superhero, and it should be about his gayness also and everything. And on another level, I'm constantly like, no, but I don't want to know about. Like, I'll give you an example. This is not a superhero, but do you remember Hitman?
Yeah.
Blood Hitman the series. So I'm a huge fan of the video games. And then when the movie came out, which was crap, by the way, I did like that they took a little. It had not been established in the game at all, but for some odd reason they decided to make him asexual in a very because he was chemically neutered, like psychologically neutered in a way. And I remember liking that a lot because throughout the movie, when you think of assassins, you think of spies, there's always usually tends to be a lot of like, oh, women spawning over this. But in Hitman, when you see it, they are doing that. Sorry, did I say spawning? I meant fawning over it.
Fawning. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. But what I mean is like I love the fact that it became a thing in the movie where all these women would be all over him and he'd be like just inert, like
Yeah.
for him it wasn't like no, don't touch me. It wasn't like played out in a very this. It was just he did not understand why. So I like that when it's true to the character in a degree that the character demands, then I love it. Then whether it's too much or too less, I don't care.
Yeah.
But
So I get that point of, what does one's queer, how does one's queerness affect them? I think that's a very important question to answer when a queer character, especially a queer superhero, is being built. And I think what's happened very well is how television has approached it. There are shows like Watchmen, there are shows like Shira, where queerness is built out very beautifully. Also, there's the luxury of time when you have 10 episodes, 8 episodes, or years to kind of build something like that. But I feel like the bottom of the barrel is cinema, is just cinema all over, because I still haven't seen, except for, let's say, an odd old guard, for example, I really haven't seen positive portrayals that make me feel like I can see myself, and I can see someone who I could have been. I could have.
Honestly, I think it was again. It was just maybe it was the time I was born in, but I remember watching X-Men as a teenager.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like how X-Men tackled. It was a superhero film, but the main crux of the film was in this: you are not going to be accepted in this world. You have to hide, and you have to and these are the superheroes.
Yeah.
So I always said. In fact, I remember I have a friend who hooked up. We've had this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when I found out that that's the reason an X-Men was made because it was, and also it starred Ian
By the
McKellen.
way, no. So I will not give Bryan Singer the.
Of course not. Of course not.
Yeah,
No,
like-
not at all. Not at all.
the the series. So the root of the series, the root of this band of people came from multiple minorities. One was, of course, the LGBT minority, and second was the Jew minority, because these two sort of groups, and the third was the African American community, which is why some of the strongest characters were either Jew or had underlying sort of, obviously that time sort of queer coded, or for example, a Mystique was queer coded. And like, I mean, she's one of the most fascinating characters ever, or African American. So I think that's the thing. At the end of the day, it's such a great sort of statement, and it's such a great allegory for being shunned by the world, and then what other people fear actually turns out to be your power.
Yeah,
I
even
think that's
sorry, I don't know a lot of superhero names, as in you, I know the characters, but like, who's the guy who shoots flames? The one, okay,
Pyro.
whatever his name is.
Pyro,
Sorry,
as
what?
in Pyro.
Pyro. But I remember there's this whole angle in one of the X-Men movies where his parents are ashamed that he's a mutant.
No, not
Uh,
him. Iceman's parents are ashamed. The guy who makes things icy.
but you get what I mean.
Yeah,
Even the dude with the wings. Sorry, I might sound a lot like this, but the dude with the wings in X-Men, his
yeah,
father hates it that his son
yeah,
is like his son got wings.
yeah.
You know. So it was without being too obvious. That was what they made the movies about, and
I
I
actually hated. I hated it. I
yeah.
hated how, because firstly, X-Men 3 is
I said
completely.
it's also when you watch it, right? I saw it as a teenager when
No, I watched
CGI.
it. No, sir, I watched it. I watched it on like the second day of its release, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hated it because I loved what X-Men stood for. I love what X-Men 2 stood for, and X-Men 3 was just. I mean, it's Brett Ratner, for God's sake. But also, like, the narrative was so muddled. It was so, and there's so much more to this character, Angel. Angel is, and I'll give you a little bit of a background on why I hated the film, because Angel as a character almost becomes another ex Xavier, Charles Xavier, because he's privileged, and
Okay.
he starts out being blinded by his privilege, saying, "Sure, I mean, if I have privilege, I'm guarded. I might have this anomaly within me, but I am guarded." He hails from a really rich family. He questions himself a little later, and basically, he questions his privilege, and he says, "If I am part of this community, and if I have privilege, and if I don't use my privilege, then who am I and what am I doing?" And that's when he uses his resources to kind of build more and more sort of support for the community. And I think they completely fucked that up in the film, where literally the character is goes from oh my god, I don't want wings, and oh my god, now I want wings, and oh my god, now I can fly with wings, and oh my god, I will save my father with wings. So
In
so
fact, that's the one I remember the least actually. I don't. I think my favorite one was the one with that Tyrion Lannister dude, Peter Dinklage.
yeah.
Yeah, Apocalypse Now. That's the
No, so
one.
that was Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past. That was such a layered movie.
That was, yeah, there
I
was,
loved it. I
yeah,
loved it, and
it
it
was
was like
really fun.
I saw it 2, 3 times back then. I've not seen it in years. Maybe I should watch it tonight. But I
Yeah,
remember every time I watched it, it was so edge of seat. Like, oh my god, they have to
yeah,
be in all these different times, and it was so well laid
yeah,
out. Like, which now movies like Avengers and all do it flawlessly. You know,
yeah.
these multi-star cast, multiple storylines packed into 3 hours and all.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
No, and
Uh,
what I absolutely love about X-Men is, I think queer superhero-dom
hmm,
owes itself to X-Men, because one, it made such a huge statement. Two, its characters over the years, there have been so many queer characters, so many bisexual characters, and uh, they just happen to be gay. It just
and
happens to be part of their
yeah,
make. Like, for
yeah.
example, Mystique. I mean, not just the cinema Mystique, and I'm not talking
Hmm,
about Jennifer Lawrence, who was absolutely like horrible as Mystique. I'm
hmm.
talking about Rebecca Romaine, where
Oof.
she's this like she's unapologetic sexually
yeah,
because
yeah.
she's had a really harrowed past, and now she owns who she is. um
Mhm,
and so she's a pansexual. She just goes where, and imagine with a power like hers, you can turn into whoever, and
mhm.
you can just use your sexuality as a weapon, and that's
Even
so strong.
that's in the movie. Can I tell you something? My bisexual heart used to my power couple back then was Rebecca Romaine and John Stamos.
Oh
Like
my god.
either like there was no couple that would turn me on as much as these two together. It's like getting a
Yeah.
magnet together. Like oh my god, they were so hot. And I remember this is so stupid, but Eyes Wide Shut had come out.
Hmm.
Okay, and this is when peak Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman were the Hollywood
Yeah, yeah,
couple
yeah.
and all of that. But I remember constantly wishing that I wish they would have made Eyes Wide Shut, but with Rebecca Romaine and John Stamos. Okay, but coming back to this, can I tell you something? So I am not that well versed with the
Hmm.
superhero universe. I do watch a lot of stuff. I've seen the Avengers series. I attempt everything. If I don't like it, I don't like it because I'm a little iffy about this whole. I don't get it. I don't get a lot of Marvel. I don't get a lot of DC. I don't know why. But again, if it's something I love Thor, Ragnarok. I love the last two Avengers. All of it. Yeah. Watchmen is hands down one of the best things I've seen in the last 10 years. So I'm there. Yeah.
Hmm.
But what we are talking about is just what has happened in film, but because we were going to discuss this today, I thought I should read up a little about it.
Hmm.
And in the comic book universe, things just they are beyond like
Of
LGBT.
course. Yeah,
In
yeah.
fact, did you know, and I don't know if you, I was stunned when I saw this, but in the comic book universe, do you know Wolverine and Hercules kiss at some point?
I mean, they've made queer versions of so many of the
This
characters.
was, I'm
Like
like,
there is,
Hercules?
by the
Yeah,
way,
I see. Huh.
DC's just announced that they are coming out with a series where all their main characters are queer. This is one series where Superman is queer, Batman is queer, all of
Mm,
them. So, I mean, in the books itself, there
mm,
is so much more exploration of that.
mm,
But sadly, and I'm talking about India,
mm,
the uh, the uh, the access to comic books
mm,
is
mm.
limited in India, especially the slightly more obscure sort of installments where these things happen. I think it's very important where especially where these comic books and superheroes where they find its reach, which is television and cinema.
Mm.
That's where the change really needs to happen, because at the literature form,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
great. It's
yeah,
absolutely amazing.
yeah.
I don't think there is anything that needs to be done there.
Exactly. So when I read that, oh, I saw the panel also where Hercules and Wolverine are kissing, and this is not like so I watch a lot of Twitter porn, yeah, and Twitter is dogged with fake porn. You know what I mean? Fake porn as in not only like faces of celebrities put
Yeah,
on
yeah.
like actual porn, but a lot of times I come across like Disney porn and this kind of like role playing a Daredevil fucking Deadpool and Deadpool fucking Spider Man,
Hmm.
and that
Oh,
happens a
by the
lot.
way, I absolutely love the fact that Deadpool was so
Yeah, yeah,
irreverently
yeah,
pansexual. Like
yeah, yeah,
his obsession with Wolverine, his obsession with I mean, they in the first film they showed him getting pegged, for God's sake.
yeah, yeah,
Like that was amazing. I love that.
yeah.
So I think Deadpool's one of those oddities where they really went for it,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it didn't need to be a statement. It just was the
Yeah,
fact that he just is.
yeah. I love the fact that it starts with "Mera Joota hai Japan," you know, like it starts with that song,
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah,
what? So
yeah.
random. But what is it? Yeah, but see, again, for me to see a panel, first of all, I'm wondering how did Hercules enter the Marvel universe? Like, have comic books gone all out in? Because I'm not well versed with what's happening, leave alone like a lot of movies and TV shows, what's happening in the comic book universe. I don't know. I was like, did they make Archie also gay at some point? Archie in the comic book series
Not
had
that I know of.
I know in one alternate universe Archie gets killed, and in one alternate universe it became like a multiverse story. Archie eventually, and in one of them he and Reggie are a couple, which was again. And see, that's the thing. A lot of times we talk about like gay baiting and like but it somehow to me feels organic when it happens in the superhero or comic book universe, because I find that people who consume these things a lot, yeah, especially they, I don't think when I see things like cosplays and everything, I feel like already that flair to not be obviously conforming to what society thinks is existence, right? Which is why I feel like writers take these liberties in those domains to spin out new this, and it feels authentic in a lot of ways. So I don't feel
Hmm.
like it's ever done with the intention of like gay baiting, unless do you have any obvious
I'm
examples
not
where it might
sorry.
have
What's the question?
no, no, as in, do you feel this whole adding LGBTQ culture, bringing it to the superhero universes now that, oh, now DC is doing this with an all-star cast, or, do you think that is done with the pretext of gay baiting, or it's
No,
just
so so here's the thing. I'm not going to comment on what an announcement is.
like forced inclusion, basically?
No, so that's what. So an announcement really doesn't mean anything to me. For
Exactly.
me, when I see the proof in the pudding, that's when I comment on it. And for example, Disney's had a piss poor track record when it comes to this because be it Star Wars, where they made a whole new, shusha about, oh my god, in the last one we will have queer representation, and literally there is a shot, a second long shot of a woman kissing a woman. That's it, like a second long shot. I'm sorry, that doesn't count for jack shit.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even know who these characters
This
were.
is what I feel when movies like all these Dostana and what's the Rajkumar Rao movie? Shit. Sorry, Ayushman Khurrana movie that came out recently.
Yeah, this
Uh,
thing, Shubh Mangal Zyada Saavdhan.
Yeah, I'm like, all the conversation around it, wow, it's finally happening.
But
Bollywood getting it.
have you watched Shubh Mangal
I
Zyada
have.
Saavdhan?
Unfortunately, I have.
But it's a good film. I really like it.
So I get it. I get it. Again, if it's
because
for
because I'll tell you why. I get why something like a Dostana is shit because it basically
Dostana is insulting.
it's
For it to
insulting.
end with them doing that old school kiss where you don't even see
Which
it,
is yeah,
and the whole idea that they act gay because they want to get a free apartment, they want to get
yeah,
an apartment. Like it was all wrong. But then again, Karan Johar has rarely got it right, except Kapoor and Sons maybe, where I thought it was a little
yeah.
sensitive. But I remember in Shubh Mangal Saavdhan again. I saw it objectively. Yeah, like I understand why a small town kid who shows this to his parents and they have a good laugh. In that sense, the film works. But me personally, I thought again because maybe we have traveled so far on this living in this spectrum. I feel that sometimes I feel like there are things that are regressive. For example, the first time that the father sees both of them kiss, he vomits, and I felt like that was such an exaggeration. But it doesn't stop me from understanding that hey, it is just what
Hmm.
someone else might feel or someone else might
Yeah.
relate to, that oh, my son's gay. So I get it, but I overall I thought as a movie, as a if I saw it as a critique, I thought like, oh, I couldn't stand that movie. There was some horse, any movie where suddenly a horse is there and the actor has to ride around on it to make a point, I'm like, I'm out, fuck this. uh Sorry. So superheroes.
Yeah. No, but have you felt seen ever in the whole gamut of growing up and all of that? Did you ever feel uh, like you could identify with any superhero? Because that's the magic of superheroes, right? Where
Hmm.
you get to identify with with
Not
someone.
really. Just this, the idea of X-Men, I really related to that then. This whole idea of you are different, people will persecute you for being different, but you need to realize who you are regardlessly, and come into your own, like kind of the idea I felt, which is why again, X-Men did it for me back then. I don't have a specific character I can think of because in that sense I just sexualized a lot back then. Like, oh my god, this one is so hot, that one is so hot. God, what is that Percy Jackson? Wasn't that? You know what I'm
Really?
talking about? I used to find
Yeah.
that guy so cute. And see, that's the thing. I would watch it with that intention. Again, that's not a superhero film. Although
Yeah.
I think he plays Thor, right? He's the lightning, the god of
I mean,
lightning.
he's plays
Okay,
Perseus.
okay, there you go. So yeah, I felt like I'd not have a single one person that I wanted
No, no,
to.
as in while growing up, like Percy
No,
Jackson is like,
none.
yeah.
None. Does Peter Pan count? No. Did you
No.
have so I feel like you might have because you're
Uh,
well versed with this.
so um, so here's the thing. I I just uh, for me, I used to watch a lot of uh, Cartoon Network, like
Okay.
a
Okay.
lot.
Okay.
And
Okay.
there used to be this show called Captain Planet, and
Yeah. Yeah.
Captain Planet Captain Planet, like if you look at his like costume, is the ugliest costume ever. Like he's got green hair, he's got a mullet and all of that. And for some reason,
And that little curl he has.
yeah,
Oh,
the thing.
yeah. Yeah.
And for some reason, that oddity that he
Hmm.
was
Hmm.
kind of sat with me, and I still can't explain why I was obsessed with Captain Planet. I was
Okay.
obsessed. So till I was 10 years old, we didn't have like cable at home. Like
Hmm. Hmm.
we couldn't afford cable.
Hmm.
And whenever I would go to Calcutta for my vacations, so
Yeah.
that time I remember 11 a.m. was the time for Captain Planet episodes
Yeah.
from Monday to Friday. I
Yeah.
would not miss a single day. Every day, 11 a.m. sharp, I would sit my ass down and I would be like, oh my God. And over and above that, I used to identify with a lot of these it's so weird. This doesn't have to do with gender, but I
Hmm.
used to, and I still do. I don't think it was a matter of identifying, but I used to find uh, kick-ass female characters
Hmm.
really, really
Hmm.
admirable. Like I used to worship them, and that
Hmm.
continued. So, for example, Tila from
Hmm.
He-Man
Hmm.
was of I used to like Tila more than He-Man. Like I was obsessed with the He-Man universe,
Okay.
but Tila was my favorite character. Tila is like the sister, the love interest esque
Yeah.
sort of person.
He-Man
Uh,
was Skeletor, right?
huh?
He-Man was Skeletor. The
He,
villain was Skeletor, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. Then
So,
who's the guy with the samurai? Was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles who was the villain?
uh,
Shredder.
Shadow, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Sorry. Go on.
So, and that continued till I started watching these, and of course, like the superhero trend started, and I, if you blindly just ask me what are the best action scenes that, and I watch a lot of these action scenes over and over. Top of the list is the ones that involve a woman. So, for example, any Mystique scene does it for me. A film as shit as Electra
Yeah.
does it for me. So, I used to have this incredible, like, love and adoration and admiration
Yeah.
for the female characters, because there was this sense of dignity. There was a
Mm.
sense of standing above everything else, which I really, really sought, and which I found very beautiful.
Mm.
So yeah.
I have to say that happened very late for me because it happened in Watchmen. When I saw Regina King in
Oh
Watchmen,
my God.
I
Okay,
think.
so I was when I was in New York, and that's when the show had just started.
Mm.
I was so close to doing a sister night costume, and then I realized maybe maybe I people won't get it because it was just 2 episodes in. So I had seen one of those leather sort of trench coats with a hood in a store, and
Yeah.
I was ready for it, but then I did glitter Jesus instead. So anyway,
Oh my
continue.
God. No,
Yeah.
as in that's the first time I felt in awe of a female. She qualifies as a female superhero, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously. Yeah, that's the first time I felt like, oh wow. Because otherwise I've just been, it's oddly I've always been into Hulk.
Hmm.
In terms of like, I like Hulk because anger has been a huge part of my life, especially with what my family life was like. My mom
Mhm.
has severe anger issues, which I kind of developed, not developed, but I kind of realized somewhere in life that, hey, do I have anger issues? And I'm not someone who explodes, but I'm the suppressor. Like I
Mm.
suppress anger easily because again, I had such a good example of why not to get angry right in front of
Yeah,
me
yeah.
growing up all my life. So which again was unhealthy because you shouldn't suppress anger either. But also in that, I was a total Hulk boy like that because again, his whole thing is anger and not
Yeah.
getting angry and learning always to which is why I love the Edward Norton Hulk. I don't know why.
Mm.
That was he's trying to do yoga and shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Throw one at the screen also. But yeah, I was a little Hulkish, but again, that doesn't fall in the whole LGBTQ this unless G in LGBTQ stands for green. Sorry, I had to. But where was I
Did
going with
you
this?
okay? So what do you think? What did you think of Old Guard? Like you
Yeah,
watched
I know
Old Guard?
you love it a lot. I saw it. I thought it was okay. Again. I liked it as a movie. I liked the action side of it. Yeah, but and I felt obviously a little wow, gay assassins, gay
Mm.
couple assassins who've lived together for centuries. Amazing. Yeah. But I don't remember feeling much for the.
Mm.
I was like, okay, like okay, cool. So yeah. I thought it was a little. The movie itself was. I thought it had nothing to do with. And again, there's nothing wrong with the movie. Just sometimes I know things that I thoroughly enjoy, like this new Bob Odenkirk movie. I'm a total John Wick bitch, by the way. You know what I'm talking
Okay.
about?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. No beef.
if yeah, so if the action is fucking kick-ass, I'm down for it because I'm a die-hard. I love like mindless Taken, all of them. I love mindless action
Yeah.
films. But a lot of times when it comes to, which is why even with WandaVision, right? That was my only critique that I liked it.
Action kid hai.
No, there's no action. But then when they did do the action in the last episode, they did it in a very marvelly, stupid
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
like
Like it's not.
laser
It's not.
beam
Yeah,
shooting
yeah,
and
yeah. It's not.
the cars flying, and I'm like, yeah, ये
You
बहुत
need
देखा
to
है.
feel like you need to feel the crunch. That's what you like.
Exactly. No, I'm not saying. I just feel like
No, by crunch, I don't mean like gory. I just mean like it needs to feel real. It needs to feel real stuff.
yeah. Which is why again when Logan had happened. Now see, that's a good departure, right? It's a
Yeah.
superhero film, but it's entirely about and yeah. I'm not. If no one's seen Logan, I'm not going to give the
I
major
mean, if you
spoiler.
haven't seen Logan by
Yeah.
now, then please,
So
you better be under 18 to not have seen it. That should be your reason for not having seen it.
okay, I want to make this a little whimsical. This conversation. Superheroes you would fuck. Or you'd love to like get it on with. Because
Okay.
again, I know Wolverine is such a big part of daddy culture, right? Like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of yeah.
yeah. Okay. So um, Constantine, and not Keanu
Oh,
Reeves, not Keanu Reeves Constantine,
okay.
like the character, because Keanu Reeves wasn't the best Constantine. Like he,
Tilda Swinton.
oh my god. So
Yeah.
okay, so Constantine would be one character. Why? Because he represents everything that I look for in a superhero. Because he's
Yeah.
sexually ambivalent, he's witty,
Hmm.
he's rakish, he's one with the books. Like he's very well read.
Mm-mm.
So yeah, so Constantine would be like the top of my
I
list.
love Constantine. Especially the Keanu Reeves one because like wow, a smoker superhero
Yeah.
who's got lung
Also,
cancer
also
and
like Tilda Swinton is exquisite in this
yeah,
film. Like
that was a great movie. Correct.
she was, I couldn't have thought of a better Gabriel.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
To me,
What's yours?
wow, I don't know. I'd have to say Doctor Manhattan. Sorry, I don't know if it's okay to say I want to have sex with a blue
Yeah.
man, but
Really?
but okay, if you are well versed with that universe,
Hmm.
and first of all, he's bored of sex, but sex with him is like sex with him. You know what I mean? Even
Also,
you
you
know
get
the
also you get cancer when you have sex
yeah,
with him.
okay, but you know the chick she loves sexism. She roams around with a dong, his dong, that blue dong in Watchmen. Oh my god, I was like, wow, sex with Doctor. Plus, even when he's not, and I'm talking about the TV series
Yeah.
especially. That guy, Abar, what I forgot his
Uh,
first name. But
yeah, Abdul Mateen.
he was so hot. Oh my god!
Yeah, yeah.
And honestly, everyone in the Black Panther movie, except what's his name, Last King of Scotland guy, Whitaker.
Yeah, Forrest
I think
Whitaker.
except him in Black Panther, I would have sex with everybody in that movie.
Yeah.
Everyone. Oh
Oh,
my
by the
god.
way, what's his name? This guy, I think he's so attractive. The guy who played the leader of the Jabari tribes.
Michael B.
Uh,
Jordan.
no, the leader of the Jabari tribes, the gorilla tribe,
Hmm.
the one that gets defeated in the beginning. The husband from Us.
Okay. I
I
know the
think
husband from
he's
us. I don't know
so.
his name. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm forgetting his name. He's so beautiful for some. Like I find him. He's not conventionally like good looking. That a
Something
lot of
about a
people
man
find.
who looks like he enjoys his fried chicken. I don't know. No,
so I would like. There's something about his thighs. Like his thick thighs are just amazing. Like beautiful. So and it's not about like fat fetish or anything. It's just there's none of that for me.
yeah.
It's just that he's real and uh he's yeah, like yeah, I can't describe
So
it. Like he's
I
very
very,
beautiful.
the funny thing is, one of my best friends, he's one of the biggest Thor fans. Yeah, he
Hmm.
loves Thor. My friend is also gay as fuck. Like, but he's one of those bigger city type boys. He likes really like
Hmm.
stout and like round men. He really enjoys it. So when in Avengers they decided to make him with a midlife crisis, Chris Hemsworth, he was like in
Oh.
he squealed in the theater. He just went because this is we just went to see when it was just out, so
Yeah.
nobody knew anything of the what happens in the movie.
Hmm.
And suddenly when he saw Thor with this midlife crisis, belly drinking beer and being gross and burping, my friend literally squealed in the theater. Wee! Like, oh my god. Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have a question. I have a question.
yeah.
You said thick thighs. That's what made me think of it. If you had a superpower,
Hmm.
have you ever thought of that?
Of course, I have thought of it. I mean, hello. Okay, my superpower would be to be able to manipulate space and time.
Arey baap re. Okay.
Yeah,
Any
like I can,
reason?
like so I will
Ah,
explain, which means that I can slow time, I can fasten time, and I can. So that would be manipulating time, and manipulating space would be I can go wherever, phase through things. So the where and when is under my
okay.
control.
Which existing superheroes already do that?
I don't know. No one. No
There's
one.
what about the little girl they're trying to protect in X-Men? Isn't that what she
Oh
does?
yeah, so she can manipulate, like she can phase through objects, but she doesn't completely like in her like alpha form. She can do
Okay.
that. So
Okay.
Kitty Pride,
Okay. Wow, it's
Shadowcat.
amazing
Her
how much
name's
knowledge you have
Shadowcat.
in
Yeah,
this. Wow,
and
uh,
separately, like of course, the speedsters can kind of manipulate time. Like,
okay.
have you watched
Like the
Zack
guy,
Snyder's?
her brother in WandaVision, what's his name?
Yeah, but I mean, he's just fast. That's not.
Exceptionally fast.
Yeah, but
Okay.
that's not like manipulating time. If
Okay.
you have you watched Zack Snyder's Justice League?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
This is the new supercut, that
yeah,
8 hour thing.
yeah. It
Okay.
is 4 hours.
Okay.
It is fantastic how they've crafted Flash,
Okay.
and that's what I would want. Like because he can turn back time and he can turn time forward, but then he doesn't do that because it splits reality into
Hmm.
like alternate timelines
Hmm.
and stuff
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
So it's not healthy to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would do those things. What about you?
Stupid guys. You remember the TV show Heroes?
Yeah.
I don't even think it's a superpower for sure, but it's also a very stupid superpower to have. But I like there was this girl who could touch any object and think find out its history. I
Mhm.
don't know why. I found that fascinating back then. Like literally, that hardly plays out well in the superhero. Like if I'm standing in front of Thanos, he's not going to give a shit that I can touch objects and find out their history, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm kind of a sentimental person like that. I get attached to things easily. So the idea that I can take my dad's shirt and think about all the times he's worn it, or I
Hmm.
don't know. It's a little sentimental and
Oh
stupid,
my
but
God, that's like my biggest nightmare because no, I'll tell you why. Because I know so many people who are sentimentalists, and I am and like I lead by omission. Like
mm,
I'll
mm,
KonMari the shit out of
mm,
things.
mm.
So I actually don't want to latch on to emotions.
Exactly, which is I'm saying it. Even I think it's such a stupid superpower to have, but
Hmm.
there's something very fascinating about it. If the world wasn't ending and there's a impending doom and some guy trying to kill the universe and all of that kind of shit, then I'd like it as a chill superpower. I'd just like to
Hmm.
walk around in a mall, touch this. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's something that fascinates me. Right? I don't even know what the good things about having that superpower are. She was a very side character in Heroes, but I don't know. I just found that very fascinating. Like,
Hmm.
oh, to go back and see the memory of objects constantly. I don't know why. I thought, in fact, sorry, it's a random side conversation, but I don't know if I've discussed this. There's a podcast called Everything is Alive.
Hmm.
Have you heard of it?
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, it's the best podcast I've heard in the last 6 to 7 months. It's basically what they do is they take a random object like a bar of soap or a can of soda or anything, and they personify it and they talk, they ask, they interview
Hmm.
different people,
Hmm.
but as objects. So they
Okay.
talk to a bar of soap and ask them questions like, "Oh, what do you think about the other soaps that sit in the rack?
Hmm.
What flavor, what scent are you?
Hmm.
How do you think people feel when they are rubbing you all over their body?" Like those kind of questions, and
Hmm.
a person actually answers them. So that's a from there comes this need to like objects. I like object things and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
yeah,
So I love what you're saying as a viewer.
concept. Yeah.
I would love to experience that via like as a vicariously.
Mm,
I would never want that for myself.
mm,
So yeah,
mm.
because like I said, I just mm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay, so let's get a little practical. Like let's talk
Sure.
about practical, like on a day-to-day basis. What superpower would you want that could help
Uh
like
Converting
like really
thought
really
into
sort
action. That's it. That's my. If that is a superpower, I'd be ruling like Venture Ambani side mein ho ja. Huh? I would be like on top of everything. I'd be the guy from Limitless. You know what I mean? If I could just everything I think of, right from Farad go for a shower to Farad just make lunch to Farad just send that email to just is that I know that's not a superpower, but if I could just my brain thinks something and I actually do it right then and then. Farad, go to the gym. Farad, go for a walk.
Hmm.
Farad is apologize to that person. Farad, everything. If I could just do it the moment I think it and get it over with, I feel like it's the smallest but biggest superpower I could possibly possess.
Interesting.
Yeah. What a random. Isn't that a thing? Like, isn't that a movie like that where very mediocre superpowers. This person just catches people with very mediocre superpowers. I mean, you know what I'm talking about? It's a British film. It
Yeah,
was damn funny. Oh my
yeah, yeah,
god.
yeah, yeah. I faintly recall it.
Yeah, so like if someone has electricity, they have enough electricity to just function a toaster. Like
Yeah,
they can't do like
yeah,
magneto
yeah,
levels
yeah,
of
yeah,
things, but
yeah.
like yeah, speaking of
That's so
magneto,
that's so like out of Rick and Morty. Like that
yeah,
situation. Like
yeah.
I can control water only for like 5 minutes.
Exactly. I remember there was one person in the movie who can move objects, but only 1 meter. So their powers are what? Like they have to throw the trash out. They just throw the trash out. Like they can't do anything exceptional with
Yeah.
it. But I have to say, a lot of people miss this. It was a beautiful film. I have never come across someone else. I said, "Oh, have you watched this movie?" And they said, "Yeah, I've seen it." It's a Woody Harrelson movie called Special. Do you remember seeing this?
Mhm.
It's basically a guy who's going off the rails, so he needs to get on medication, and he's given this trial medicine, okay, that makes him think he has superpowers.
Mm.
Okay, but unfortunately, the drawback is he doesn't really have superpowers, but he thinks he has superpowers. So let's say if a woman is being robbed on the street and he's on the third floor, in his head he's jumped from the third floor, he's beaten that guy up, and the guy has run away and the woman is saved. But in reality, when he jumps, he breaks his legs. He gets hurt a lot. I thought that was such a
Mm.
sweet film, like about a superhero who just keeps getting hurt, but he doesn't realize that he's not got any powers. It was a
Yeah.
fantastic film
Mm.
called Special. Well, yeah. Having said that, let's go to our little small talk section. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope we've covered everything. This is quite a bonus episode for all our geeky. Is that stereotyping that superhero
No, not like,
and
let's just say that, fandom,
fandom?
like geek
Yeah,
fandom,
yeah,
basically.
yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back for a TikTok.
Ye-
Ah,
Small talk.
I'm so sorry. Shunega, that's your headache. Announcing those sections is your this. Yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, see you.
All right. And now's the time for our little recommendation section called Small Talk.
Mm.
So, what are you recommending this week?
Nothing LGBTQ. In fact, there are zero LGBTQ characters in it. But I am rewatching, okay,
Hmm.
a show on Netflix called Shtisel. Okay, so I'll give a quick little background about it. Shtisel is a show in Hebrew. It's set in Israel. It's about a super conservative Jewish family. Yeah, it played on some obscure channel abroad. Nobody knew about it. It even got cancelled. Yeah, and then somehow what happened was it ended up on Netflix, and that show became such a cult hit, okay, that I was blown away that when I turned on my TV last week, Netflix has produced, they've restarted the show and they've come out with season 3 for the fans basically. And so I thought before I see the new season, because the show had already ended, they wrapped it up also beautifully,
Hmm.
no cliffhangers, nothing. And it's not even like it's zero drama, it's just a breezy show about a Jewish family, like a big Jewish family, ultra orthodox, huh? Ultra orthodox. Like they pray before they drink water. Husband wife sleep in different beds. That kind of
Hmm.
orthodox. Yeah. It's. I'm so happy in life. Like right now, if I have to say what's the highlight of my life, it's the fact that Netflix, who I actually is my least favorite streaming platform because of just it's okay. But for them to pick up that show and gauge that, oh, there is a cult following for the show, let us put money and come out with a new season for the fans,
Hmm.
and to create that, and it has got great ratings. The new season, I've not seen it. Shtisel, I'll just spell that Shtisel. Beautiful. Like if you miss as a kid, just rarely, when you would pick up a book while you're on a holiday somewhere and you would just read it in one sitting. This is that show. Like the feeling is that. Yeah.
Awesome. Interesting.
What have you got for us?
So there's this show, and this is it was so funny that you talked about your superpowers, about touching and finding the history behind something. There's actually a show on Netflix called Worn Stories, and I find it
Sorry, what stories?
worn, like wear.
Okay. Okay.
And basically the premise, it's a documentary style show, and
Hmm.
each episode basically it follows different people talking about an object of clothing and connecting that object of clothing to memories and stories and what it means.
Amazing. I
So
love it already.
it is
What?
so fascinating because you get
Okay.
to know people, and then you
Okay.
get to know how diverse they are. So
Hmm.
someone you wouldn't think is into BDSM,
Hmm.
um, is someone who enjoys BDSM, is very clean cut, when it comes to showing the world, but then has like this kinky side, and it's adorable. It's beautiful,
Hmm.
and it's just beautiful stories. It's one of my favorite new things to watch. So please
Hmm.
go watch it on Netflix.
I'm
Born
gonna
Stories. Yeah,
One Stories.
Born Stories.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
So yeah, so that's our week for the day.
Thanks,
For
man.
the that's our chat for the week,
Yeah,
week for the day.
yeah,
Yeah, but keep writing to us, keep talking to us. We love the comments, we love the messages. So yeah,
absolutely. I can't wait to talk to you next week.
yep.
Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
Bye.